Hello everyone, welcome to the Twilight Treasury. I'm DB, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 games that truly exemplified their unique console or handheld features. Now, one of the things that I've always loved about console and handheld gaming is that they always usually try to introduce something different to make them, special compared to their competitors, and I've always appreciated that. And I wanted to do a top 5 list that instead of just is the game good, is it a top 5? Something that really boils it down to how well was that game showcasing that special feature. So in order to keep this fair, I grabbed a couple of friends and we worked out a criteria. So first of all, we narrowed it down to our two minor ones. A game has to be good, and it has to be an exclusive and the first of its series for the console or handheld it came out on. And then we had our two main criteria that we were really looking at, and that was how did the game show off the unique or special feature of its console or handheld, and how well did that game implement or integrate it into gameplay for fans and for really showcasing this unique idea? So without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at number 5 is Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Now, there was a fair amount of discussion as to whether this game should be on the list, as to whether it was unique enough, until one of our testers, a fairly die-hard PlayStation fan, pointed out that graphics and hardware can be just as innovative as any other gimmicks you might find on a game. And when we compared this game to current-gen console games and even some computer games, the graphics themselves stand the test of time and are still just as good, if not better, than some of the games that people are currently playing now. And mix that in with the tight control scheme, great sound, and gameplay, we agreed that this game at least deserved the number 5 spot compared to any of our other ones that didn't make the list. Coming in at number 4 is Tetris. Now, Tetris has been released in many different styles on a lot of different platforms through the years, but when it was first released for the Game Boy, it truly amplified that play and carry type style that started a whole culture of handheld gaming revolution. I mean, you could take Tetris on the bus, in an elevator, play it in between classes or during classes, depending on who your teacher was or how interested you were. But it really was something that was so simple and addictive and truly left people wanting more. And it really was a game that truly showcased how well handheld gaming and how popular it could get. So that is why it's our number 4 choice. Taking the bronze medal is a game that's going to have people scratching their heads. Zombie U. Now, this was a game that was kind of out of left field for a lot of us when we were doing this testing. It's a game that I never actually played until years after it was actually released for the Wii U. Now, I know the Wii U does not get a lot of love, but I do like Nintendo's take on trying to introduce unique ideas for gaming. And when the Wii U was released, it had that whole gamepad separate screen that really, I think nobody really knew what to do with it. However, Zombie U, a release title for the game, in my opinion, got it right. And when we were all playtesting this game, we agreed it did show very unique ideas. I mean, when you're playing the game, you have all your inventory, all your scanners, your radar, all of that sort of removed from the screen and put somewhere else so you can enjoy the game in its fullest extent. And that whole being able to look down whenever you need to get into your backpack, whenever you need to pick a lock, actually physically having to look down at that screen and do these things there adds a whole new gaming dimension. I mean, while you're doing all this, during your main screen, a whole horde of zombies could be sneaking up on you and literally ripping you apart. I mean, that style of uniqueness was something that we don't see in a lot of games. Mixing with that the gameplay, sounds, and overall appearance of the game are actually pretty good for a Wii U title, which normally does not have the power of, say, your Xboxes or your PlayStations. So when we were doing our testing, we figured all of these criteria actually gave this game something that a lot of other games didn't have in terms of different styles of gameplay. So that's why it got our bronze medal spot. Getting our second place silver medal is Halo. Now, Halo has great gameplay, a memorable main character, and a great storyline to it. But really, overall, it's not that much different gameplay-wise compared to other shooters that have been released since. But the one thing it did do when it was released for the Xbox was introduce people to multiplayer. Now, whenever we think of multiplayer by today's standards, we think most consoles have some sort of multiplayer, and really, it's something that people don't think about much. But when Halo was released, multiplayer through a console was something that was still relatively new. And I don't think that at the time, a game quite exemplified that online, massive multiplayer world gameplay as much as the Halo franchise did. Now, the type of frenzy that it brought to online multiplayer is something that's normally reserved for massive computer games like World of Warcraft and other ones like that. But for the first time, that type of experience was brought to a console system. And really, it set the stage going forward for other future consoles and future games to really envision themselves and create worlds that are similar to that. And gone were the days when, in order to get this type of experience, you really had to have a computer with, enough power to run these type of games. So, based on all this, and for the first time bringing multiplayer to your home console, this is why Halo received our second place silver medal. And getting our gold medal first place is Super Mario Bros. This was the game that sort of started the entire console type experience. I mean, I know we had a few forerunners like the Commodore 64 and others like that, but truly, Super Mario Bros. On the original NES was what started the whole console gaming experience. It really showcased that a game that you can play in your own home, sitting on your sofa with your parents or your friends or whatever, could truly have tight gameplay, good graphics, a good soundtrack. And really, it shifted that whole focus away from arcades, which were normally the dominant go-to place for, kids and other people to get together to play a game. I mean, it could even be said that a lot of our console type experiences that many people have gone through might not have come about had the NES and Super Mario Brothers never have been released. I mean, anybody going back and playing this original game will still find that the control scheme is really tight for a game that's, decades old. And it's something that even game companies struggle with now to get that right, control scheme together. And really, I mean, it introduced so many revolutionary characters that are still around today and really was just a truly fun gaming experience overall. Well, that's our list, everybody. Tell us what you think. Is there a game we've missed out on? Is there something we overlooked somewhere? Put it in the comments and let us hear. Again, thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more great content from the Twilight Treasury. Have a good day, all.